Hello and welcome, BitMonger family. Hope you guys are all doing well today. Recently, I've been very bullish on Solana, and I've given you guys my reasoning. But don't let that confuse you. I'm also still very bullish on Ethereum, and my thesis is the big institutions are going to pile into Ethereum this cycle. It's going to cause a massive spike in Ethereum. It's going to do well. I think Solana is also going to do well. I think over time, Solana will end up being the clear winner. But in the interim, you need to have exposure to Ethereum. And today I'm going to be looking at a little bit about that. Hey, come here. Look at that guy right there. Look at that little pug dog. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Jabba. Okay. All right. So, let's take a look at Ethereum, and then we'll look at Solana. So, to get back to that, so I believe Ethereum will be used by the big institutions. They'll be developing layer 2s. That's going to help push up Ethereum massively. Right now, it looks like Ethereum versus Bitcoin is kind of bottoming, and it looks like it probably hit a bottom and is now starting to go up. And I expect it to appreciate against Bitcoin, Solana as well. So, to make a long story short, I believe Ethereum will be used by the big institutions along with Solana as well. And the reason for that is because Ethereum has been around longer and it's well known for being extremely secure. But it has difficulty scaling. They're going to need to use layer 2s to scale, which is going to cause defragmentation, the modular, and that ultimately probably isn't the best thing. But they're going to do it that way for now. And I believe Solana will most likely be used for things like Visa, basically the stable coins, quick payments, things that need to be settled quickly, because Ethereum, it takes a long time. Whether the layer 2s can manage that or not is yet to be seen, but we'll see. So let's take a look at what we got here. So I asked Grok here what institutions are building on Ethereum, and it's a who's who of different groups. We got BlackRock, Deutsche Bank, Visa, Franklin Templeton, JP Morgan, UBS, Society General, and European Investment Bank, ING, PayPal, Coinbase, Stripe, TD America, Citigroup, Fidelity, Goldman Sachs and Santander, Paxos, and Circle. Now, remember what I said about Circle the other day. We know that they have been minting a huge amount of Solana on that chain. They've minted over $6 billion US dollars of USDC. So I do believe that's going to be the payment channel, the payment rails. On RWAs, real world assets, which is happening as well, I believe that will most likely, it's going to be a combination of both, but for now I believe Ethereum is going to be probably the preferred one at this stage, and that's purely based on the fact that it's got a long history. No one's going to get fired for using Ethereum, and but again, it does have problems scaling, and the settlement takes time, and the transaction fees are very expensive compared to Solana. So we also got Microsoft, Sony, Samsung, Google, Fox, Ubisoft, Consensus. Okay, well, Consensus has been around. Other notable institutions: Pfizer and Genentech, Ernst & Young, SAP, and the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston. Wow, this is just amazing. If that doesn't make you bullish, that list of people that are involved with Ethereum, then you need to really start paying attention to the world and large corporations. If you aren't familiar with those names, you must be living under a rock, or you're really young. All right, so that's what we have with Ethereum. Let's take a look now. What institutions are building on Solana? So this is interesting as well. We got Franklin Templeton. They've got over $1 trillion in assets under management, and Franklin is using government money fund Forex to the Solana blockchain via Benji platform. The fund valued at $594 million is one of the largest tokenized money market funds showcasing Solana's role in asset tokenization. R3, a UK-based blockchain technology developer for financial institutions. R3 is collaborating with the Solana Foundation to bring its clients tokenized real-world assets on Solana's blockchain. R3's quarter system ecosystem, which handles tens of billions in assets, aims to enhance the scale and liquidity of tokenized assets. Clients include major institutions like HSBC, Bank of America, Bank of Italy, and the Monetary Authority of Singapore. So some really big players involved with these guys as well. We also have Societe Generale, Europe's largest financial institution, is using Solana to improve efficiency in asset management and financial transactions. On this one, the partnership focuses on reducing cost, enhancing transparency, and aligning with the bank's goal of integrating blockchain into traditional finance. So this is a big one as well. Now, granted, there's a lot of layover on both of these, as you can see from what I'm showing you. So they're doing it on both of them. Right now, Ethereum does have the head start, though. So you really need to be having a position or watching both of these assets going forward. And I believe in the next, I would say 8 months, we're going to see a huge run-up, a big run-up. And if for some reason that gets delayed, I can't guarantee anything, but I would think at the very latest, when the Federal Reserve Chair does leave, if they don't lower interest rates, if it takes until May for Trump to put in a new Federal Reserve Chair, he's going to put someone in that wants lower interest rates. And every time they lower interest rates, our assets rip. There's like trillions of dollars sitting in money market funds right now that are going to look for a home when they no longer provide a good return. And they start lowering interest rates, that money's going to flow out of there, and it's going to go into, more speculative assets, stocks, Bitcoin. Bitcoin's going to probably eat up the bond market. So that's where it's going to go. So let's look at another one here on Solana. Fiserv, that's a major financial services technology provider. It's bringing stablecoin solutions to over 3,000 community banks through a partnership with Circle and Paxos on Solana. So this is another one. Again, and we know Circle. We talked about it yesterday. They are the big boys. They are the ones, they are going to benefit when the Stablecoin Act passes. And they are focused on Solana. They are using Ethereum as well, but they have really stepped it up on Solana. Citibank is also someone that's using it. It's exploring Solana's potential for seamless money transfers. See, the thing is, guys, Solana, I think it charges 0.0025 cents. So like, it's minuscule. The fee to transfer money on Solana is so small that these big banks are gonna, it's very interesting to them, and they're gonna be using it. I'm almost certain. And we're seeing it happen now. Securitize is another one. And Securitize is the leading tokenization partner for BlackRock's BIDL initiative. And as I mentioned earlier, BlackRock is also using Ethereum for the BIDL network, but they're also taking a stake with Solana. And they're looking for efficiency lower costs, quick settlement, and that's why I am bullish on Solana on the long term, but you can't ignore Ethereum as well. Anchorage Digital Bank, Visa. Visa announced plans to use Solana for payment processing, collaborating with payment processors like WorldPay to leverage Solana's high transaction throughput and low fees. So again, my thesis on payment rails, I believe Solana is gonna take it. Let's look at some other things here. What do we got on this one? How many transactions per second can Ethereum do? Ethereum's current transaction throughput is approximately 15 to 30 transactions per second. You can see it's old, it's clunky. Now, if they use layer 2s, they can speed it up. So with layer 2 solutions like rollups, Arbitrum, Optimism, Ethereum's ecosystem can process significantly higher TPS, transactions per second, ranging from 173 using blobs to 607. Okay. And then it says, and up to 40,000 in some cases. But I don't think that has been proven. Post on X suggests Ethereum ecosystem layer 1 plus layer 2 can achieve around 240 to 320 transactions per second. And that's what they're going to want. They're going to want to have the layer 2 running, but settling on Ethereum as the base layer for the security issue. So we can see it's only doing 240 to 320 for the tokenization of everything, for tokenizing stocks, for massive trading. That ain't going to cut it. Let's look at what Solana's doing. So how many transactions per second can Solana do? Theoretical maximum. Solana's white paper claims a theoretical upper bound of 710,000 transactions per second on a standard gigabit network, with potential for 28.4 million transactions per second on a 40 gigabit network. This is constrained by network bandwidth, computation, and memory. So, tested peak and testing environment, Solana achieved up to 65,000 transactions per second under optimal conditions, with one test by Jump Crypto's Fire Dancer client reaching 600,000. All right, guys. So we can see huge difference in terms of how many transactions it can be used per second. And if it is going to be the Web3, the financial layer, the new financial plumbing of the internet, this is the type of speed that it's going to be able to need to process what's happening around the world. So real world performance and practice, Solana typically processes between 3,000 to 4,500, with peaks around 7,000 transactions per second. The figures include both user transactions and validator vote transactions, which can inflate the raw TPS count. Okay. Just so you guys know, I've used Ethereum in the past. I was a big holder of Ethereum before it made me a huge amount of money. I was buying Ethereum well under $100, and it ran all the way up to, nearly $5,000. So, it's not that I dislike Ethereum. It's just that I believe that Solana will, most likely, be the leader in the future. But you need to have both. So you want to be looking at that. You want to be looking to get a position in both. How you want to weight it is dependent upon your risk, and everybody's different on that. If you're swinging for the fences and you're trying to get the most, then do your own research and figure it out. So right now, there's going to be, Solana is in the process of doing an upgrade called Fire Dancer, and that is coming down the pipe. It should be happening fairly soon, and we can see here, Solana's high throughput is driven by its proof of history and proof-of-stake mechanisms, enabling fast and low-cost transactions, averaging 0.00025 per transaction, so a fraction of a penny. Future upgrades like Firedancer could push real-world TPS closer to 600,000 by addressing software bottlenecks. And I've also heard that it could actually reach all the way up to 1 million. Okay. So I asked about which layer 1 institutions are using for tokenizing stocks. It talks about Ethereum is the leading choice due to its robust smart contract capabilities and for decentralized finance. It hosts thousands of tokens and is widely used for tokenizing real-world assets, including stocks, but its security and developer-friendly environment. Because of that, institutions leverage Ethereum for interoperability with DeFi platforms and extensive custody solutions. Example, platforms like Ondo Finance use Ethereum for tokenized U.S. Treasury bills, indicating its use for financial asset tokenization. And then it talks about Solana here as well. Solana is gaining traction for its high throughput and low transaction costs, making it attractive for tokenized assets. The XStocks protocol by BackedFi, launched on Solana, allows users to buy tokenized stocks like Nvidia and Google directly through Solana's wallets without KYC, that's Know Your Customer, highlighting its use of stock tokenization. Its scalability and speed, up to thousands of transactions per second, make it suitable for high volume trading of tokenized assets. Okay? What else do we got here? So I asked, how is tokenization growth on Solana? And tokenization on Solana blockchain has seen significant growth in 2025, driven by its high throughput and low transaction costs, like I said. Here's a concise overview of recent trends based on available data. So, surge in real-world assets. As of July 2025, the value of tokenized real-world assets on Solana is approaching $500 million, a dramatic increase from $50 million in April 2024, reflecting 10x growth in just over a year. Boom. So we can see it's gaining massive traction. Major traditional finance, TradFi institutions such as HSBC, Bank of America, and the Monetary Authority of Singapore are partnering with R3 and the Solana Foundation to tokenize assets, leveraging Solana's blockchain for enhanced liquidity and scale. So there's word that they're going to want to have like a NASDAQ-like platform, and it's all going to be running on Solana in the future. And that's very interesting. I think that will happen in the future, so something to look at. Solana has become a hub for tokenized equities with platforms like Superstates, Opening Bell, enabling companies like Ubexi, a NASDAQ-listed firm, to tokenize shares. Ubexi added 735,000 with its SOL for to its treasury for tokenized efforts. Kraken, which is a big crypto exchange in the United States, Kraken's XStockFi platform has launched tokenized U.S. equities on Solana, backed by shares held by Backed Finance, which is a Wall Street firm, further driving tokenized stock activity. So, as we can see, both of them are very good projects. Both of them have potential massive upside going forward. I like them both. I'm more heavily weighted in Solana, but I do have positions in Ethereum. I never sold off all of my bags. I did keep some of them, but it's been hard, because if you look at it, let's look at this. Reconnect that. So this is Solana Bitcoin. I like to compare my coins to Bitcoin, because in this niche of crypto, if you are, if you're playing, if you're investing in this area, it's always good to compare it to Bitcoin. So this is the Solana Bitcoin. So this is showing Solana's performance. We can see it had a massive run up back in 2021, and then it absolutely crashed. That's because of FTX, the crash there. That was the bottom of the bear. And then it pumped, and then it's come back down, and it looks like it's about to come back up. And here's a trend line from 23 going up. It looks like it's about to break that. If it breaks that, we could see some upside. Let's also take a look at ETH BTC and how that's doing here. Now, you can see on this chart, going all the way back to 2020, this is the bottom. This is about where it bottoms out. And we can see it came right down and it bounced off that. It's come up. It had a small correction. And I believe that this is about to absolutely go up, potentially quite a bit. So, looking at these two charts against Bitcoin, Ethereum is looking like it is ready to absolutely rip. You might want to take a position, start nibbling on it. That's what I'm going to be doing soon. I'm hoping that we'll see a little pullback, but if not, I do have a position, but you might want to get some. Up to you guys. Do your own research. I'm just a guy on the internet. Have a great day and monger on.